Hello and welcome to the Truly Weird podcast. My name's Rebecca and we talk about things here that are true and that are weird. So they're truly weird. And today we're going to be talking about dancing balls of light, orbs in the sky. If you are in the United States or maybe even everywhere around the world, you might have heard about this, but recently the United States government has come out on record. They've testified before Congress and declassified a lot of reports. Basically, over decades, there have been sightings by military personnel, pilots, aircraft carrier workers, and servicemen. There have been unexplained flying phenomena that have been going on for decades. We cannot confirm the existence of aliens per se, because we haven't seen any other creatures, any otherworldly creatures. But there have been lights or machinery or metallic objects, things moving about in the sky that have moved in ways that have been described as not physically possible as far as what we know about physics and gravity and the capabilities we have as humans with machinery. And they move and do things in ways that we cannot explain, that cannot be explained as just belonging to another country or whatnot, because we know what we are capable of, and it's not just a matter of, it's a little bit more advanced than what we have. It's basically been described as doing things that are thousands of times, orders of magnitude greater than our capabilities. We don't even understand how they are possible. So basically beyond human capabilities. So do with that what you will. Are there aliens? Maybe we just don't understand things very well. And maybe we can't perceive nature or the universe the way that allows us to understand these things. We know we can't see all the colors in the spectrum. We know we can't feel everything that's going around us that other creatures and animals can feel. So maybe this is all just something that's beyond our senses. Could be. But anyways, today we're going to be talking specifically about dancing orbs of light or balls of light, this specific phenomenon that has occurred across centuries. These three cases are very well documented, witnessed by multiple people. They have scientific data to back them up. But cases in general have been occurring for centuries, like I said, dancing balls of light. Not necessarily metallic or machinery in nature, just light or balls, but specifically in ball or orb form, have been reported numerous times, even more numerous than any kind of triangular or spaceship shaped, if you think of like the donut or ringed alien spacecraft, or the triangles in the sky that we see in media about alien spacecraft. Those have not been reported as often as just dancing balls of light. So we're going to discuss three well-known cases. The first one is in 1994 over Lake Michigan. On the night of May 8th, 1994, an extraordinary wave of UFO sightings occurred along the Lake Michigan shoreline in western Michigan. Residents reported seeing multiple colorful lights in the sky over the towns of Holland, Grand Haven, and Muskegon. They were described similar to Christmas lights as red, green, blue, and white. They appeared to dance, dart, hover, and move in ways inconsistent with any known aircraft at the time. Singular balls would split up and become multiple balls and move around and dance and come back together and zoom away. A National Weather Service radar operator named Jack Bouchon, he was a meteorologist, was on deck at his weather station that night and observed the radar of these phenomena happening. He says he manually controlled his radar station and saw multiple echoes, quote echoes. They weren't planes. They hovered, dropped 5,000 feet in seconds, and made right angle turns. No aircraft we know can do any of that, he reported. He showed multiple objects tracking together, moving in geometric patterns, rapidly changing altitude and speed. He later described that these results gave him chills. And witnesses described their sightings like this. One said, quote, they were like Christmas lights in the sky. They hovered, moved fast, and disappeared. It wasn't like anything I've seen before. One said, "We watched them for over 30 minutes. They'd hover in one spot, shoot off quickly, and reappear somewhere else." Over 300 reports were logged in, and this was covered extensively on local news and media. Nobody has been able to provide any concrete explanation for the phenomenon. Skeptics suggest that the lights may have been caused by atmospheric anomalies, starlight distorted by temperature, or distant aircraft. But again, no known phenomena, no aircraft has ever been observed to be able to do these things. No trick of the light has ever been documented. It's basically saying, well, maybe it's some kind of trick of the light that we don't know about. These cases officially remain unexplained, and this is frequently cited as one of the most credible mass UFO sightings in American history. So that is over Lake Michigan in 1994. Another case of these dancing lights is from Norway. It's called the Hessdalen lights. Since at least the early 1980s, mysterious balls of light have appeared in the skies above the Hessdalen Valley in central Norway. The phenomenon is so well known that there has been a focus of ongoing study. A permanent project has been set up called Project Hessdalen, dedicated to observing these balls. Scientists still record and observe the balls that are sighted there to this day. They constantly monitor and record data that they have. The lights seen are typically white, yellow, or red, and can hover, dart across the sky, or sway like pendulums. Sometimes they appear as a single orb, other times several are seen at once. Witnesses describe it as, quote, "We saw a ball of light, bright white, silently hovering over the valley. It just hung there for 10 minutes, then blinked out. I've seen it more than once." Another one said it looked like a glowing football, just hovering, then moved slowly down the valley like it was scanning or watching. Reports have come from tourists, locals, scientists, and military. The lights appear most frequently here during the winter months and in the evening. So again, since 1983, this project has been set up to actually record these things. They use cameras, magnetometers, radar, and spectrometers, and have gathered tons of data. They found that the lights often emit heat. Spectral analysis suggests that they might be made of plasma. Radar sometimes is able to detect these balls, but sometimes not. Sometimes they don't appear on their radar equipment. And the lights sometimes travel against the wind. So it's not some naturally occurring floating thing on the wind. It is actively going against the wind. So no single theory explains all the sightings. Scientists speculate that it could be some kind of gas emission, radon decay, a photoelectric effect, but none of these explanations account for the types of movement, duration of movement, and consistency with which they see these things. So the Hessdalen lights are still being studied today, and the permanent observation station transmits live data. And again, this is a scientifically credible UFO phenomena that has been studied extensively. The last one we're going to talk about here today is called the Naga fireballs from Thailand and Laos. Each year in October, during the Buddhist festival of Wan Ok Phansa, a stunning spectacle plays out along the Mekong River between Nong Khai, Thailand and Laos. Hundreds of glowing red fireballs rise silently from the water and float into the night sky. So these are usually, I think these are only seen as red fireballs, not any other color. The phenomenon, again, is just called the Naga fireballs. It is steeped in legend and draws thousands of spectators annually. This one is a little bit strange because it appears only in a specific time every time of year during this festival. So quotes from witnesses say, "We saw dozens of red balls rising from the river like spirits. There's no sound, no smoke, just glowing lights." Another one said they just rise from the surface and vanish after a few seconds. It's beautiful and eerie at the same time. Some nights only a few fireballs are seen, others hundreds can appear. Locals believe that these are emitted by a mythical creature called the Naga serpent, which lives in the river. So again, various theories have been proposed. Gases, methane bubbling from the riverbed, or phosphine gas that can ignite spontaneously under certain conditions. Some believe it could be military flares or fireworks set off by locals. But again, scientific studies have found no consistent evidence, no evidence that any gas would replicate such results. And no evidence has been found specifically that anyone is doing this. No remnants of fireworks, and no evidence of some group that's behind it. Nothing to indicate that this might be some hoax. So again, the Naga fireballs blur the line between folklore and physics. Skeptics continue to search for an explanation, but this is a well documented through video footage, photographs, and mass eyewitness accounts year after year. So scientists remain divided, but the fireballs are one of the most mysterious recurring light phenomena on Earth. So again, 3 very specific examples of the dancing balls of light, documented, recorded. We don't know exactly what they are, but we know they are there 100% for sure. Dancing balls of light historically throughout the written record of human history have been a thing. I specifically was taking a look at orbs or colored lights. There's many instances of fireballs in the sky, which quite frankly is probably literally just fireballs in the sky, like shooting stars or some kind of natural explosion, meteorites, things of that nature. So if there's ever like a forest fire, embers could be raining down, those types of things. So not focusing on fire, but focusing on colored lights or dancing orbs. There's still many recorded throughout history. One of the most well-known throughout history was in 1561 in Nuremberg, Germany. Again, this is 1500s, so not Nuremberg from World War II, but in Nuremberg, there was they call it a battle in the sky was seen by hundreds, involving spheres, orbs, cylinders, crosses, and crescent-shaped objects were recorded as moving, darting, zigging, battling each other in the sky for hours. And again, in 1566, there was another report of red and black spheres fighting in the sky. So really not sure what that's all about. That was before, obviously, video records or anything like that. So we only have basically written down accounts, but it's interesting to note that these orbs are always described as dancing or battling, moving, jumping around basically in unnatural ways. Any natural phenomenon that we see is usually anything that has to do with effects of light or gas, reflection, is not in a jumpy zigzag stop and move and zag and go up and down. It would be flickering or floating or, materializing and then fading away. We've never encountered any natural phenomenon that can move in these ways. So that's a big indicator that this is something different. The only thing that I can think of that would be comparable would be lightning bugs, insects that emit light. They could zig and dance, but they are far too small to be creating this kind of effect. And they're not the right colors and not fast enough to be an explanation for this phenomena. So there you have it, the dancing lights, dancing orbs found around the world. Again, what do you think? Tell me what you think. Is this natural? Is this some kind of peek into a dimension or visual spectrum that we just can't see? Maybe the conditions in these areas are just right, where we can now see partially something that is going on that we just can't usually see in other parts of the world. Could be something in that effect. Could it be aliens? Could it be spirits? I mean, the possibilities are kind of endless, I guess. Tell me what you think in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.